Millennials Suck Podcast, millennialsuckpodcast.com. We are here for the Black Light Showcase tonight. Is it called the New Natty thing, I believe? New Natty or whatever. We are here with Tiger Goods.
Hello.
How are you doing?
It's
very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
So first I want to ask, like, where are you from? Are you from Cincinnati?
Yeah, I'm from Cincinnati. I moved here when I was 9 in 2004.
Okay.
I was born up in Columbus, but I was raised on the west side over in Delhi.
Nice.
I live over in Walnut Hills now, but Cincinnati most of my life.
Hell yeah. So what kind of music do you make exactly?
It's hard to describe the genre I make. I just make bangers. I can't really describe it. Like, I do a little bit of pop, a little bit of rock, hip hop, but I kind of just blend them all in my own little way. Because I feel like that's Cincinnati in general.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that is kind of how our city is. Is that like it's just like a bunch of people taking a bunch of shit and throwing it together for real.
Yeah, because we don't have a distinctive sound yet. So I like that freedom where I get to just kind of like play around. I don't have anything to live up to per se. You have a lot of freedom.
No, yeah, I understand that entirely. I was listening to your music last night. And I noticed that there's like, it's kind of got like that almost like 80s synth pop house feel to it, which I really like because it's really cool to see that integrated into hip hop as much as it has been lately. So, but I do think that your sound is really original. Like it's kind of like, not to be derivative, but it's kind of like how Drake released that entire new album to be remixed by TikTokers.
Yeah.
It's like if he had put effort into making a good album, right, it would have been in that same lane, which I really appreciated about your music because it still seems authentic while still being on the pulse of what you're trying to do, which is great, really.
Yes, I love, house. I love dance music in general. And I don't think a lot of people understand like African Americans' contribution to that genre. My mom's from Detroit, which is a huge like techno scene. And I grew up listening to this and seeing it being very black and brown, and then you get in the music industry, you're like, why isn't that a lot of people messing with this and mixing it with hip hop? Like, it's something that we originated. Like, why can't we play with it? Because I see a lot of Detroit rappers starting to do it again, and I love seeing it start to come back into the culture, and we can have our own little spin on it.
Yeah, I mean, even if you just look at the history of hip hop in general, like when you look at how like EDM kind of started from like the DJ days back in the 70s, which is where DJs were having underground parties and mixing disco records, you know what I mean? Which was entirely, a black art form when it started as well. So I like that, because I do think that like there's black influence in every genre of music.
Yeah.
Like I would almost say that it's almost entirely stolen from it. So it's like, we're not here to talk all that, but no, that is what I would almost say. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's good to see that, you're willing to take a step out of what other people might be able to do because it's not as trendy or it is not as, purist as other things.
I love doing the unexpected. I'm an Aquarius. I like being different. What can I say? I mean, Aquarians, like the age of Aquarius is always like new life, new ideas. Like we're very humanitarian. We think like outside the box. We're known to be very logical, out the box creative thinkers. Like we have, Bob Marley, J. Cole. Like we try to be innovative. When we try to go against the grain. Anybody going left, I want to go right.
Right.
Just because I want to stand out, but like still be yourself. Because I feel like when you try too hard to fit a wave or a lane, you get kind of confined there. But when you're already experimental from the jump and you take that time to build your own sound, it's harder to fall off if you get on. Because nobody else, unless they're hopping on your wave, really does that.
Right. No, I think you are right in that. Once you solidify your own place and your own, lane, it's hard for anybody to take you out of it because you're always doing what you do.
It's definitely a clever way to avoid oversaturation for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, being willing to be diverse,
but
being willing to be diverse with what the music that you're making is a really important trait to me as far as like being also a former music artist myself. It's like, there's some sort of artistic integrity you try to take when you're making your music because you want it to go off, like you want it to bang, but at the same time, you want to make sure that you're not misrepresenting yourself in the pursuit of something else.
Yeah, you got to be authentic 100%. People can always feel when it's just like overproduced because I do a lot of pop and it's very easy to come off very like, this would be in such and such supermarket commercial.
Right.
Like, but you have to kind of take it your own way and kind of do that bedroom feel. I like to kind of make it sound DIY, my roots. When I was just sitting in my room listening to beats off of like YouTube on GarageBand, I try to stay close to where I really started.
Well, I think that you're doing a fantastic job at you know, just really translating yourself into your music. I think it does feel original to you, especially after sitting in the room with you for 20 minutes while we clumsily put this all together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You really get a good feel of who you are in your music if that's what you're looking for, which I appreciate as an artist myself.
It's like my baby. It's literally my child.
So how long have you been making music?
I've been recording music since 2019, so about for going on 4 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did your music journey start? Did you just decide you want to walk into a studio because you were bored someday, or?
So I've always been kind of like the freestyle kid in my family. Whenever beats would come on, I'd be that kid. You know, you like attention when you're a kid. You're like Lil Wayne was popping. I want to be a rapper. Everybody wants to be a rapper. It's 50 Cent, G Unit. And I kind of never really took it seriously, but it was something I was good at and would just do as a party trick.
Right.
But it wasn't until I came home from college in 2018 and I was still living with my mom, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I'm like, okay, I have this big girl job and all this other stuff going on, but like I really want to get back into music. I got a little money now. I can really invest into what I want it to sound like. I Googled best studio in Cincinnati and Blacklight came up. I met Tony and then later Max. And it just took off from there. Like, literally, the second song we ever did was Mean Girls. That's almost at 1 million plays.
Yeah, it's a good song.
It was a very organic, like, thing. Like, once we started, we pretty much haven't stopped.
Well, I mean, good job picking the right studio off the bat. You know what I mean?
No, having good engineers and just, they helped me network so much off the bat. Like, once I figured out my sound, I kind of just had the things I needed to do to get out there.
Yeah, no, I'm biased because I've been a friend of Max's for a very long time. And so, you know, the last music that I made was with him. So, but I would say that, you know, Blacklight's got a really good team. They do everything in-house and they also work with their artists outside of just, you know, recording their shit. So I think that you picked a good spot to come.
Very radio ready. Every time I go different places out the city, like, oh my gosh, where do you record? And I'm always so happy to tell them about Max because, like, that's my dude, man.
Yeah,
like,
that's my man.
He's been here. You can see how fast we record. It's like Kobe and Shaq. We be in here, we can do like 2 full songs mixed and mastered in 4 hours.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Like, we be punching in and out. It's like once you find that other person, your yin and your yang in music, and you can really trust them with your vision. It's so natural.
So when you come in to do a session for like when you do 1 or 2 songs in that 4 hours, are you already written before you get in here, or are you guys writing while you're here?
Oh yeah, because the meter's running. You're paying for everything every single second, and that's one thing I tell upcoming artists: make sure you at least have like 3/4 of your song done before you come into the studio, especially if you're on a set budget, because every second is $1.
Yeah, you don't want to get into a position where you're under-prepared for a session and then you don't have the money to finish the song. You know what I mean?
And also just learning the vocabulary of like the different materials they use. So like I had to learn like certain things, like certain filters, or this is how I wanted it to sound so you can communicate with your engineer better. So when you're pre-written, you already have the vocab. When you're getting in here, boom, bam, boom, boom. You're getting things done and you can better translate your vision.
Right.
Because it's, you know, as a creative, we get stuck in our heads and how we want it to be, but you have to be able to communicate that, because the bigger you get, the less you're going to be hands-on with everything. And so that's one thing I've learned working with Max, like being able to communicate with people in a teamwork, collaboration type of way. So because you're going to get big and you're not going to have time to do every single thing. You have to trust people.
Right.
So you have to be able to communicate.
No, I've always said that like the biggest factor of succeeding in any like entertainment or creative lane, you know, it is collaboration. You have to be okay with, you know, everything not coming out exactly as you would envisioned it. You've got to be okay with, you know, working with certain types of people that you wouldn't regularly work with. You have to be okay with things changing from your personal agenda to make it work. And I think that it's kind of like you can't really make much progress if you're not willing to do that.
I thank the Lord I was an athlete before I was a serious musician. Yep. Because when it's so many things I take from playing team sports most of my life to music. You have to be able, you might not like this person, you're not going to be best friends. You have to work together.
Right.
You have to be able to have a common goal. And that's what a lot of artists need to understand. Like, yeah, you can be the face, but it's like a corporation. You have to see yourself as a business. Yeah, you might be the CEO, the founder, the owner that gets all this, you know, press, but there's so many components behind each artist that you see. 50 to 100 people that work on these projects.
Right.
And everybody needs to be treated with respect, and you need to be able to communicate with them and to trust them to do their job. You guys, I'm not a micromanager. Because if I'm trusting you to even have this position, I know your skills.
Right.
All
You're
I
not
need
just
to
going
do
to
is
shift the
communicate.
responsibility onto somebody who you don't know if they can handle
Exactly.
it or not.
Like choose, people you work with wisely. But let them do their job. You have to trust that everybody's bringing their strengths. And
Agreed.
You can't just micromanage and be crazy and try to control everybody.
Well, I mean, I think you have a good approach at music. I think you have a great mind for progress. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they're kind of fucked before they even start because they have an individualistic mindset and they're not really here to put on for anything but themselves. And when things don't come out the way that they dictate they come out, they end up being held back by those factors.
Yeah.
So it's really good that, because you're young, obviously.
I'm 28.
You're 28? Damn, dude, I thought you was like 23. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm almost 30. Black don't crack.
I wasn't gonna say
Plus, this is really good concealer right now.
My foundation is on point.
It took a little minute, but I got it together.
Well, we're out of time. Thank you for sitting down with us.
No problem.
Where can they find you at?
You can find me on all social media at Tiger Goods Music. All my music under Tiger Goods on every streaming platform.
You heard it there.
At
Go
all
check
the
out
ads.
Tiger Goods at all the ads.
At all the ads. Same thing.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us.
No
Seriously,
problem.
you've been
Thanks
great
for
to talk
having
to.
me.
I appreciate you.
Thank
It was
you.
great having you.
Thank you.